Did you know that only 36% of people worldwide are considered emotionally intelligent? That means the majority of us are missing out on a crucial skill, one that could transform the way that we lead. Emotional intelligence, or EI, is the secret sauce behind great leadership. It's what helps leaders build trust, communicate clearly, make smarter decisions, and inspire their teams to greatness. In this video, we're diving deep into why EI is a game changer that drives engagement, success, and long-term impact. Stick around because this is going to change the way that you lead. So how can you tell if you have strong emotional intelligence? Sure, there are plenty of free online tests, but in this video, I'll focus on something a bit more practical. We are going to break down what a great leader with high EI says and does compared to one with low EI. I'll walk you through the 5 key components of emotional intelligence. For each one, I'll share the positive traits a good leader shows, examples of what they might say, and what goes wrong if the skills are missing. The first area we're going to dive into is self-awareness. Leaders with high emotional intelligence are highly self-aware. They understand their emotions, strengths, and weaknesses, which helps them manage their reactions. This keeps them from letting emotions get in the way of leading their team effectively. Interestingly, while 95% of people think that they're self-aware, only about 10 to 15% actually are, according to Harvard Business Review. For example, when a leader with high EI makes a mistake, they might say, "I could have handled that differently." On the other hand, a leader with low EI might respond, "That wasn't my fault, I know what I'm doing." Without self-awareness, leaders can be oblivious to how their emotions affect their team, possibly offending or alienating people without even realizing it. They might even resist feedback or get defensive when it's offered. Next, we'll look at empathy. Empathy allows leaders to connect with their team members by understanding their emotions and perspectives. This helps build stronger relationships, improve collaboration, and handle conflicts better. For example, when an employee is struggling, an empathetic leader might say, "I understand this is tough. How can I better support you?" Contrast that with a leader lacking empathy who might say, "You have the same workload as everyone else, just get it done." Leaders with low empathy often miss emotional cues like body language or tone, making it harder for them to respond appropriately to their team's needs. Communication and social skills are also essential. Leaders with high EI communicate more effectively and foster open dialogue. They listen actively and encourage feedback, which builds trust and makes people feel valued. For example, before making a decision, a high EI leader might say, "I'd like to hear your thoughts on this before we finalize things." A low EI leader, by contrast, might dismiss input and say, "We're doing it my way, end of story." This approach leads to misunderstandings and leaves employees feeling unheard or frustrated. Leaders with poor social skills may dominate conversations, dismiss employee input, or provide little guidance. Next, we have motivation. Leaders with high EI are driven by purpose and passion. They inspire their teams through their positivity, resilience, even when things are tough. They also recognize and celebrate their employees' achievements, creating a motivating environment. For example, when faced with a challenge, a high EI leader might say, "I'm confident we can solve this together." A low EI leader, however, might say, "Let's just meet the deadline and move on," which doesn't inspire much confidence or drive their team. Low EI leaders may also focus on their own successes rather than the team's, which can be demotivating for others. And finally, there's self-regulation. High EI leaders keep their emotions in check, especially in stressful situations. They think before they react, which leads them to more measured and constructive responses. For instance, when a problem arises, a self-regulated leader might say, "Let's take a moment to figure out the best way to move forward." A low EI leader, on the other hand, might say, "This is a disaster and I don't have time for this." This kind of reaction creates stress and a negative atmosphere, damaging morale. If you're struggling in any of these areas, the good news is that emotional intelligence can be developed. It's something you can work on and improve over time. If you're looking to grow in emotional intelligence, a great starting point is to reflect on your own emotions and ask for feedback from others to gain some outside perspective. Practice pausing before reacting in tough situations to build self-control. You can also work on listening more deeply to your team to better understand their needs and feelings. Thank you for joining Great to Lead. If you found value in the content, please subscribe to the page Until next week, strive to be a leader who inspires and leads with greatness.